Now, welcome back to 11th episode of MediEvil, the grand finale in which a true hero, Sir Daniel Fortesque, will do his ultimate challenge of defeating, or better say, facing Zarok in single combat. The final boss stage. The train has delivered Sir Dan Fortesque to Zarok's lair, which looks very intimidating because it has skulls in it.
Never thought you'd get this far. Your final encounter with Zarok awaits beyond this point. He has surrounded himself with his unnatural bodyguards, but you may yet even the odds by calling upon the lost souls collected within your chalice. Place the chalice on the shield at the heart of the arena. Good luck, Sir Daniel Fortesque.
Well, they do admit I am a true hero, and the game of course gives you all the necessary things that you may need to get. You can buy the ammo, you can buy equipment, you can buy everything. Oh, let's just recharge everything. There's a shield for the silver shield, but let's just equip the ultimate shield, the gold shield, even though gold shield should be quite useless in actual use, being soft and heavy. And Dan Fortesque is ready to fight. It's a battle arena, Colosseum. So time to pick a fight.
Sir Fortesque, my old nemesis, so we meet again. I see that a century spent as worm food has done nothing to diminish your naive obsession with the freedom of Gallowmere.
And he has skeletal henchmen with swords, shields and armor, and ugly looks.
Prepare to attack, my warriors. I want the dogs gnawing marrow from those bones within the hour. Ah! What is that, Fortesque? Your lucky cup?
It is the chalice of true heroes. For yeah, I have my friends as well, because normally Dan couldn't hurt those enemies. And there's also the good lightning Dan can use to replenish the health of his skeletal warriors, because who don't seem to be particularly, you could say, skilled warriors. So the plan is just simple: run around, zapping your own dudes until so they can actually defeat the Zarok's hench soldiers. Basically, it's not that really big deal. They defeated Zarok and transform into cups.
You always were fortunate in battle, Fortesque. Let us see how you fare against my champion, the late Lord Kardok. He eats people like you as calcium supplement.
That is funny line, but how in hell would Zarok in this setting know what calcium is? Yeah, a skeletal undead warrior riding a steed of fire. And he has a big scary flail. And he was killed. by taking a crossbow bolt by canning him to his eye. So it's time to let's just he summons henchmen. They don't seem particularly alright. Let's just give him some wax. And he kabooms. Then he seems to summon more henchmen. So I guess the pattern is to kill the henchmen. And then Zarok gets angry at you and decides to attack you. And you can then attack him instead. Well, it doesn't seem too difficult. Yeah, of course he's used out some attacks. Oh, and Fire Blast. And there's plenty of henchmen he throws at you. And he shoots stuff at you. Oops. But he seems to be taking quite nice chunks of damage. And he laughs, because he's a bad guy's main henchman. And he seems to teleport as well. So what to say, fights are chaotic. So. Come on, does he go down right if this swing? No, he didn't go down yet. It's quite chaotic. Because, well, there's so much stuff going around. But Zarok goes down.
Bugger. Right then, that's it. I've just about had enough of your meddling.
Zarok joins the fray himself.
Where is that spell? Ah, yes. No, not that spell.
Comedy.
Oh, not right now.
Yeah.
Aha! Now I have it.
Well, yep, monstrous form of Zarok, the final boss.
None shall defeat the mighty Zarok. So prepare to die, Fortesque.
And Zarok's gone very nasty. He's invincible as long as he has the blue armor. He spits stuff at you. Well, I just used the old-fashioned tactic of yeah, he spits stuff at you. He stands still for a while so you can pepper him full of arrows. They didn't seem to up much of his difficulty from the original one, except maybe fight feels a bit faster paced. Zarok was much tougher. Oh damn. Ran out of magic longbow arrows. Well, time to switch into the firing longbow, because well, if it's something, it dies with fire. Fire kills things. Fire purifies. The ultimate form of purifying is fire. Oh, what is this? It feels something new. Oh yeah. Let's burn him down. Oh. But despite him being the final boss, there doesn't seem to be much of different, because he goes down.
Curse you, Sir Knight. I am finally defeated. Yet if I am to fail, then all shall perish. You are doomed, Fortesque. You will never leave this domain.
Yeah. Ooh. That was funny. And then Fortesque runs away. And that's it. And this is the actual ending. And I wonder, is there also the true ending that you get by 100%ing the game's hero challenges? But of course, Zarok's lair goes kaboom. Dramatic explosion with slow-mo. And now Zarok's evil spell is broken. All kinds of good things happen, like people get out from their mind controls and all that. Captured souls get back to wherever they were going or are meant to be. Yeah. Mind control goes out. And the big bird takes us back where we left. Crypt. Because Dan Fortesque is dead. And he has a grave to go. Which he now deserves. It's really strange that the game never mentions why Dan has no jaw. His lack of eye, yes, but lack of jaw, no. Death. Yes, this is the extra ending. All of Heroes. And I think that lady who gave Dan the lightning is the first to get there. Oh, damned. Yeah, he had no job to drink. But he is a true hero. And so is this game's story ending. There was a sequel and a kind of thematic remake of MediEvil Reborn. But that's it. Game's over, quite fun. But it's now time to check what does getting all the lost souls, which basically demands that you have to play through the stages through again, or every stage again practically, and find the lost soul and do the lost soul mission, and see what kind of reward does that task give, which I do feels very artificial padding. So let's just go check that right now, because well, this is just the ending credits about people who did this game remake. So let's go check the trophy, or let's say reward.
You have set all the lost souls to rest. Your legacy will be legend. Just know that legends are often not as crystal clear as the current world in which we live. Time can make things fuzzy, but the people of Gallowmere will remember you fondly nonetheless.
With full chalice, all lost souls gathered through all the 19 stages, because well, Anthive does not have lost soul, thank God. There's a new option in the main menu called Old Game, which is exactly. So let's just see how did Dan Fortesque's adventure actually begin. And they even added all the menu flashes and all that. And screen resolution is smaller and the screen ratio is different, of course, because this was much older game made for the usually 4:3 picture ratio, not 16:9, which seems to be standard nowadays. But still, this is how MediEvil came to be. 1998, 24 years ago.
In a time long ago, there lived in the kingdom of Gallowmere a sorcerer named Zarok. This arrogant, pitiless man hated his fellow citizens for their simple and peaceful ways. So he raised an army of demons and set out to take the realm for his own. The king's champion, Sir Daniel Fortesque, led the militia into battle against this unholy horde. Songs are still sung of how he spearheaded the charge deep into the accursed multitude, how demons fell before him like wheat before the scythe, and how at last, though mortally wounded, he destroyed the sorcerer utterly. Fortesque went down in history that day as the hero of Gallowmere, and a time of peace began, which was to last for 100 years. And then the sorcerer returned.
They had male voice doing the narration then. And of course this was made with a animation, not 3D action, 3D of the game itself. I do say that the remake recreated these scenes quite well, although I do must say that seeing the game's length, those who bought the remake as new when it came out a couple of years ago, I'd say and it was a full-priced game, and if they didn't bought it as a physical copy, just digitally, which I think it was, I'd say that it was a quite of a bum deal that they got. There practically is nothing new in the game, and this part also being the original MediEvil should have been a bit easier to get into the game or get into playable. Although the fact that they included it is real nice bonus. It gives you an idea about how much there has been development and not. But the story is still the same. Zarok does all kinds of evil things. Raises dead, makes people unable to think, but too bad that it also happened to make Dan Fortesque wake up from his grave. And there was a loading screen, of course, because it was an old game. Hey, modern games have loading screens. But I see that the time level sound has not gotten so much technical development, because they were able to use sounds, multiple layers of sound mixing and all that kind of things then, as they were able to do it now, because so the development has been in graphics as well. And MediEvil was, I'd say, one of the first PlayStation 1 era 3D platformers which became at that generation. So let's just start the first level of Dan Fortesque's travel. This is how he actually came to be. We witnessed the actual resurrection of Sir Dan Fortesque. And I think they did get new voices to do some of the voices, and that was Dan. Oh yeah, oh God, gross. A bug nest, spiderweb, and he smiles.
It has risen again, Sir Daniel Fortesque. See? The hero of Gallowmere who fell at the first charge. The fog of war and the shrouds of time conspire to turn the arrow fodder into the saviour of the day. But we knows better. Let it alone. Fate has given it a second chance. A chance to forget the ignoble truth. A chance to defeat Zarok and live up to the legend. We hopes it does well.
And that is what they did. Their hope was not unjustified. So, this is how it actually began. And originally Dan was able to get moving much faster than the original one. And of course there wasn't right stick, but you could use the shoulder buttons to spin the camera around and use them both to get the Dan view. And you couldn't move while at it. So not much that kind of changes. Little bit one. But there was Star Rune. You would have to and there would be. But the original dance felt a bit more flight jumpier. But oh yes. Oh yes, and a bit different. And you actually had to hit chests to open them. Oh yeah, Daniel Fortesque started as a silly skeleton character, and he never practically has developed any further from that. He's always been a humor. Humor has been part of MediEvil since the beginning. So let's just take the life bottle, throwing daggers, use the rune to leave the stage. And of course, go here again. And I think I'm gonna show the original game over as a nice conclusion to this episode. The original map of Gallowmere, in which Dan was able to move. And of course there was no autosave because memory cards, no hard disk at the original PlayStation. So you'd have to have memory card to save your progress. Otherwise, if you didn't, well, you'd have to play through the game with single sitting. So, and this was the first actual stage of the game. And you could not, there was no quick change between weapons, so you would have to get them as you were. And the camera, of course, at those times was a bit wonkier, and gravestones, you couldn't smash them. And zombies had much more simpler animation, but they still felt very much zombies. So hacking them up and lost, or better say, captured souls from enemies did not actually, they just went up. They did not go towards Chalice. And that was a bit different at the remake. The rune was in a slightly other location. It was inside here. So, but the layout of the level was, well, it's a remake. And it's in a sense that I'd say that it's a bad remake because it didn't so much actually add to the game. And I do feel that remake upped the difficulty a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. But of course, Daniel Fortesque's game was never practically, well, more, I'd say that the more difficult parts of MediEvil were not in the, they were not in combat. Let's charge Super Strike. And of course, if you have played through all the Lost Souls of the original, of the remake, you have most likely have no problem about playing the original one, at least in the sense of where things are and what you have to do, because that part never changed at all for the remake. Yeah. Got all the necessary stuffs. And of course there was no humorously quoting database either at the original one, describing all these funny greasy things that you could get. You could get. But the game MediEvil, there's a reason why it got a remake, and I think it's something like something like a what's the word, cult classic, with a funny, goofy armored skeleton with one eye and no jaw. I wonder why Dan had no jaw. Well, I guess they just found it funny that he would just mumble instead of talking, and it works. It's an amusing little, gives Dan a bit more character, and that's something I really like. Hacking all the bits to the original graveyard. Draw distance wasn't really big, but they had a ability of using dark game design things like darkness and that kind of things then, which they always did. And I say that the late PlayStation 1 era games were really good at masking technical flaws or lacks the system had. So let's just... Yeah, that death feels much more death in this one. And once again, life bottle just drank. So let's just swim again. Yeah, bully bully bully. Oh, it still threw me out from the water. So let's just... I think the third time's the charm to see the actual game over. Although I'd say... Yeah. And the screen burns when the game over. And thus ends the MediEvil remake and a demonstration of its original form as well. See you in the next one. See ya!